All right, so Acho, what was your biggest takeaway from last night? I wish you.
Man, a lot of amazing things happened, Sel.
It was a great
Dak
game.
looked great. Brady looked great. So many good things. We're going to break them all down. My biggest takeaway, though, the Cowboys are going to cowboy.
Is that good?
No.
You win 5 championships?
Not at all.
Oh, you mean Hall of Fame owner?
The Cowboys
you mean biggest brand in sports?
are going to cowboy. That means when it all looks good, you got a whole lot of sizzle, but did not have a lot of substance. Sel,
What?
I left the game, and for the last, you can call it, what is it now? For the last maybe 14 hours, I've been on a high. Yes, America's team is back. America's team is great. Cowboys look good. I've been hyped, Sel. But then I had to calm down prepping for this show because I said, wait a second. Pause. Cowboys were better than the Bucs on third down. The Cowboys had more passing yards than the Bucs. Cowboys had more rushing yards than the Bucs. Cowboys had a significantly greater time of possession than the Bucs. The Cowboys forced 4 turnovers, 3 were meaningful, and only turned the ball over 1 time. Yet the Cowboys lost the game. Cowboys gonna cowboy. I told y'all this yesterday, Sel, I told you this, and I think to a degree you agreed with me when I said the question in sports is not how good are you. The question in sports is, when you play bad, can you still win?
Yeah, how are you?
The Bucs played at a C+, B- level, if we being real. They had 4 turnovers, again, 3 meaningful turnovers. Turned the ball over within your own 30-yard line twice, that's 2 times, and then you turn the ball over again, scoring at the Cowboys goal line once. So the Bucs played a B-, C+ game and still won the game. So my biggest takeaway is great as the Cowboys played. They played great in comparison to the Cowboys. Right? That's what's crazy. Because I woke up hyped.
Talk that.
And then I said, wait, pause. Cowboys fans, pause with me. You all played great. CeeDee Lamb had a couple drops. It happens. 1 turnover. It happens. But you all played at an A- level. That, to me, was the best game I've ever seen Dak Prescott play.
Ooh,
Here's why.
I want to take your class.
Dak had the most completions ever in his most attempts ever, tied for his most completions in his most attempts. I think Dak Prescott missed 4 throws. I counted 4 missed throws out of 58 pass attempts. That's not 4 incompletions. That's 4 throws that were off target. Dak played great. No, you couldn't run the ball, but you're not going to be able to run the ball on that defense, though you should have tried more. We'll get into that later. Kellen Moore called a phenomenal game. I'm going to the big board by second lap. That's a teaser. So I think the Cowboys played great, Sel, but they still lost. So my takeaway, Cowboys gonna cowboy.
Okay. That's an interesting takeaway because I don't believe in Cowboys cowboying. I don't believe in that year to year that there's as much consistency with a team in its makeup as we advertise.
Yes, sir.
And my biggest takeaway is exactly that. Hey, Bucs, y'all over there flirting with complacency. And guess what? That was a wake-up call. Let's be real. It's natural to be complacent when you have success. I got to remind people that we all know that even when you bring back the exact same team as the Super Bowl champion Tampa Bay Buccaneers did, it ain't the same team. It's not going to be the same mental makeup. You're not even going to have the same production makeup. Give you an example. Who was the best receiver for Tampa Bay last year? Wasn't Antonio Brown.
Evans,
After one game, who was it? Antonio
Yes,
Brown.
sir. Talk.
Okay, I'll give you another example. Did they have a running game last year? Yeah. Did they have one last night?
Yes, sir.
Okay, last year, was Tom Brady looking good? Damn right. Does Tom Brady look even better? You're damn right. Last year, was the defense amazing? Yeah. Was it amazing last night? Not so much. So here's the point. It's going to look different. Tampa Bay has to realize that it's not going to be the same, even though we have the same players out there. If there's a thin line between love and hate, breathe. Love, the greatest emotion out there, the greatest principle of life. And hate, the opposite, the greatest. And there's only a thin line between those 2 things. You don't think it's a thin line between being the best team in football and the team that you think is sorry? They right there. It's a game of inches. And yesterday we saw that it wasn't just a game of inches. It may be even closer than that. Now, I'm not going to get into the grading system for these teams because there's not enough runway of this team 2021 to show me on both sides. But I will say this. Hey, Cowboys, your 451 net yards last night? Those teams usually win 70% of the time when you have over 450 in net yards. teams with a +3 turnover differential. You know, Coach always says, I don't give a damn what happened out there. Show me one stat, and that's going to tell me who wins the ball game. Oh, did the Cowboys win the ball game? No, they didn't. You see that when you have a +3 or greater turnover differential, you're supposed to win 80% of those games. Cowboys didn't. Time of possession was the best since the Cowboys had Mike McCarthy as a coach. Mike McCarthy era saw the best control of the clock with the ball last night. All that said, they still lost. So if they still lost, I'm not going to sit there and say that this team is not good. I'm not going to sit there and say, oh, y'all didn't take advantage of a bad Bucs team. I just saw a game last night that you got to learn to win. And the Bucs are going to find out this year, even though we won it all last year, we still got to learn to win with this team.
I like that take. So much to unveil and unravel from this game. So y'all hang on with us throughout this whole show because we're going to give you what other shows haven't and what other shows cannot. The other thing I took away from last night is Kellen Moore is going to be a head coach next year.
Next year?
Next year. I guarantee it, Kellen Moore is going to be a head coach next year.
Cowboys?
And it might be for the Cowboys.
You keep talking about the Cowboys, and I get it. But I want to talk about the winners who found another way to win, but still got to be careful because it looked like they were flirting with complacency, flirting with danger. I saw 4 giveaways yesterday. Now, Hail Mary, I hear you, but it still counts on the stat sheet. So look. Including the postseason, the Bucs had 1 or fewer giveaways 14 times last year. 4 giveaways was more than any game last season. Wait a minute. Are you getting a little loose with the football? Who you got to love the most on the football field? It ain't your quarterback. It ain't your best player. It's that football. They didn't protect the football. Last year, they protected the football better than they are off to this year. 10 second-half points last night. I'm going to dive into these details. Bucs scored the second most second-half points in the NFL last year. You think 10 is going to keep them at that same pace? No, that's in decline as well. Outscored by 3 points in the second half last night, but they owned the NFL's best second-half point differential. That's off from last year's Super Bowl pace as well. Y'all gave up 403 passing yards to Dak Prescott, who was just coming off of surgery, who was just coming off of an injury on top of a surgery, who was just coming off an injury and on top of a surgery that had 2 MRIs that you said, oh, my God, I don't even know if he could play or walk. This is the same quarterback that went out there and threw for 403 passing yards. Last season, only 2 quarterbacks threw for over 375, and both of them were in losses. Interesting. They got away with one last night. I look at this team, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, and I just hope that they understand who Tom Brady is. And I hope Tom Brady understands what his team is because his team has not been through the rigors he has. Yes, Gronk has. Yes, you could isolate individuals, but to the masses, they don't know what it takes. They are going out there with a repeat mindset. And I'm telling you, if this team is trying to defend what they did last year instead of trying to ascend by what the team they have this year, which is completely different despite the same personnel, they're going to run into cases like this and find themselves on the losing end. Cowboys played a good to great game.
Yes, sir.
I want to say great, but ain't no way you could replicate this for the rest of the season without Zeke. Zeke looked amazing. Even though he didn't do he looked so good to not do jack. I've never seen a guy have so much spurt, like lean and efficient. Can't use him yet. So the point is they got to find a balancing act. For the Cowboys to go out there and play Cowboys football, which to me is a positive, they need that balanced attack.
I love how we are talking about different things. That shows how big the game is. You're talking Bucs, I'm talking Cowboys.
Yeah.
We're starting macro, we're going to go to the micro.
Let's go.
Let me talk about Zeke a little bit because maybe my biggest takeaway was the Cowboys' misusage of their first-round picks and how glaring it was last night. Zeke took the most expensive conditioning test I've ever seen a player take in yesterday's game. Most expensive conditioning test. Ezekiel Elliott, the Cowboys' 2016 first-round pick, he only touched the ball 13 times in 77 plays. 13 times. 11 carries and 2 catches. That's not enough. That's the 2016 first-round pick. 2017 first-round pick for the Dallas Cowboys, Taco Charlton, he's not on the squad anymore. No. 2018 first-round pick for the Dallas Cowboys, Leighton Vander Esch. Leighton Vander Esch only played 13 snaps, y'all.
He was out there.
13 snaps, and he played 9 snaps on special teams.
Hey.
Where they do that at, y'all?
I know.
Leighton Vander Esch is a phenomenal linebacker, has gotten injured, but he didn't play. Why? Because Micah Parsons, the Cowboys' 2021 first-round pick, was out there. Micah Parsons will be a phenomenal football player. but Micah Parsons was out of positions a lot yesterday because he was trying to figure it out, playing off-the-ball linebacker, trying to figure out pass coverage. Now, if you know the linebacker position, Leighton Vander Esch is the Cowboys' best pass coverage linebacker, but you can't play him over Micah Parsons because Micah was a first-round pick this past year. So I was watching the game cell, and I was like, wait a second. 2016 first-round pick for the Dallas Cowboys. He's a decoy. That's Ezekiel Elliott, $90 million decoy. 2017 first-round pick for the Cowboys. Well, he doesn't play on the team anymore. 2018 pick for the first round for the Dallas Cowboys. 2018 first-round pick. That's Leighton Vander Esch. He played 9 special team snaps, only 13 snaps on defense. 2021 first-round pick for the Dallas Cowboys. Micah Parsons. He was out of position because they were forcing him into positions he shouldn't have been in because he was a first-round pick. 2019 first-round pick for the Dallas Cowboys didn't exist because they traded it for receiver Amari Cooper. 2020 first-round pick, that was CeeDee Lamb. He is a baller. He is a stud. What I took away was, these draft picks over the last several years in the first round for the Cowboys, they're not paying off in the game. And it threw me a loop, Sal, because you've been in the position. I've seen it before. Micah Parsons was playing because he had to.
All right. Dog, I've been there. I've seen it.
He was playing because he had to. He wasn't playing because he deserved it. He wasn't playing because he earned the right. He wasn't playing because he was the best linebacker in those positions. He was playing because he had to. Leighton Vander Esch is the best Cowboys linebacker all around. Then Micah Parsons, then Jalen Smith. But how come Micah Parsons played 51 snaps to Leighton Vander Esch's 13 snaps? Why? Because one was a first-round pick who had to play. I'll say it like this, and I heard this before in regards to relationships, I think it was. Never let the most beautiful what change your why.
What? Do that again. Damn.
Never let the most beautiful what change your why. Why do you put a player on the football field? You put a player on the football field because he gives you the best chance to win. But Micah Parsons is an incredibly beautiful what? 6'4", 4.39 running, long, lean, high energy. He will be a phenomenal football player. But the Cowboys let their most beautiful what change their why. Their why you play a player is to win the game, but they let the fact that Parsons is such a beautiful what distract them from their why. I'm going to remind y'all, don't you ever let your most beautiful what change your why. And that's what I saw happen last night.
Okay. Now, that's a beautiful Wileyism, yes, stolen. I love that one. After this block, I got to get that one from you. But here's the problem. When you talk about high ceilings, now, who has a higher ceiling? Leighton Vander Esch or my man Micah Parsons?
You'd have to say Micah.
You better say Micah Parsons. Okay, we walking into a house. If you gonna floss, if you gonna show off, if you gonna give me the high ceiling effect, where should it be? As soon as I walk in, right, for you, oh, God, okay. It should be in the back of the house. It should be on a different level where it's like, oh, I got to go find it. With Leighton Vander Esch, they've been looking for it. They can't find it. They know his ceiling is lower. So with Micah Parsons, we're going to give it to you first day. You know why? Because this is a marathon. This is a 17-game season. Micah Parsons, you're going to look out of place right now. I know right now the Dallas Cowboys coaching staff is sitting there saying, oh, he's going to get this one now. He's going to self-correct throughout the season because his ceiling is so high. So you got to do it in the front. You got to do it in the beginning. You got to do it from game one. I understand that move, even though as a player, I'm sitting there feeling a little conflicted with that same move. I'm with you there. But you keep talking about these Cowboys in ways that doesn't totally add up. And then I look at the Bucs, and I'm like, a lot of stuff doesn't add up as well. It all added up to an amazing game, but remember the Cowboys, 1 for 4 on touchdowns in the red zone. No sacks last night. That only occurred twice last season. That was with a bad defense. Bad defense. So they go out there last night, don't even get something. Interesting. Let's flip it to the Bucs side. I keep looking at these Nuggets. I'm like, okay, because I'm trying to predict. I don't believe in preseason, and I don't believe in what you were last year. I believe in what you show me right now. And what you show me right now is interesting because I look at Tom Brady, who was amazing last year in the fourth quarter, 121 rating. Last night, 81. I guess a bad defense. I guess the defense isn't as bad as advertised. I look at Tom Brady last night on third down, 45 passer rating. Last year, 110. Money downs, turnovers. Like, they're not so good on the money downs, not so good on the turnovers, but they still beat a Dallas team. To me, how does this add up? Is Dallas much better than last year? Are the Bucs just not the same Bucs team, and they're holding on to that belt, but at the same time, they're not wearing that belt this year after one game? A little early to make all these indictments and make all these conclusions, but it looks to me that the Cowboys a little better, but also the Bucs a little worse.